This podcast is brought to you by Living Swell Studios. When you want to record your next hit, broadcast your next live stream, or just need a quiet space to edit your videos, Living Swell Studios can accommodate all your needs. Located in New Orleans, they're equipped with a rehearsal hall, print shop, photography space, and more. Living Swell is your one-stop shop to facilitating your vision. Let them fulfill your music and video dreams. 15.
He get me with the clap every time.
You got to do the clap. You got to slate it.
It's the way he come up
you
on
will spend an extra 15 minutes. You will spend an extra 15 minutes trying to look for the shit, trying to line up audio and video. I'm telling you, it's just, you just got to do it.
All right, open it back up for us, Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we was laughing.
We deflected.
Oh, here we go. Drew's putting it out there, episode 15. Hey y'all, what's happening? This is daphessah Drew Bayham coming at you with a long hiatus episode of Drew's Putting It Out There. And for this one, to get back into the fold of, giving you all something to talk about and something to entertain you for at least for a little while, we're bringing back the regular cohorts. My right, your left. Big round of applause for Nicole, y'all. You know this already. Yeah. On my left, your right, my Sharia Moore, my two-way bell, my thorn in my side, my thorn in my side. How about a big round of applause for Maya? Yes, sir. And formerly the Al Hammond of the podcast, but he might come back with the Al Hammond of the podcast.
Nah, we back in the podcast.
All right, we back in the
podcast, bro.
Back the Al Hammond of the podcast.
On camera too, so the Al Hammond of the podcast is back, bro. Al Hammond of the podcast.
Yes, sir. Roast beef Jenkins, Mr. Herb Dog, y'all.
Swerve music.
Jenkins.
What's the other one? The Black Stan Smith.
All that in the bag of beats.
The Black
all that in the bag of
the
beats.
future Rick and Morty. Wait till I have a grandson, we gonna turn up.
Yes, indeed. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here, back in pocket. How y'all doing today? Y'all doing all right?
I'm good, man. Gonna be good. I'm good.
Alive.
Making it.
Yes.
You got Delta Plus, apparently.
Oh,
Okay.
So let's get into it. I'm excited to get back in the fold because, a lot of times I didn't realize how busy I was before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. You think?
Yeah, I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know how busy I was during the pandemic, and so when the pandemic hit, and just pretty much everything that involved my line of work was gone. Picking up and starting to do this podcast was, the, what do you want to call it? The piece for me. It was a piece for me. It made me feel like I was making progress, in other arenas and that type of thing. And so since everything's opening back up, now my phone is ringing again. And now I wind up taking just a forced hiatus, from doing this podcast. And now, like I said, I'm excited because I can get back in it, and I feel great about that. But at the same time, I was able to get some good reflection time on, not having to try and come up with topics, because some people don't understand how difficult sometimes it can be just to have topics to talk about and be able to, make them entertaining, because we're not just trying to just talk.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not just trying to talk shit, all that type of stuff. We are trying to talk shit, but, in a manner that it can entertain you, can take you away from what the fuck is going on outside of what's happening. Yes. So, I just say that to say that I'm excited to keep going back and all that other good stuff. And later on in the podcast, we're going to have the raffle that we've been putting on. Know that this raffle was going to, sending a young black male to just alleviate some of his tuition costs of going to college. I think is very important. And and it's great to help any way you can. So that's going to be a little later on in the cast. Yep. All right, so let's get down to business. Yeah, let's get down to business. First things off, we're going to start with the news of like just that's happening right now, and it's concerning the baby, rapper the baby.
Kirk tripping. I take that back. I don't think Kirk tripping.
Well, just to let you know, some of y'all who don't, keep up with the, that type of entertainment news. Basically, the baby was in a concert. He was on stage, and he made some, kind of disparaging remarks about the LBGTQ plus. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to find out because every time when I thought I got it, they had a letter. Yeah. So it's like I just be trying. I be trying.
That's why Dave Chappelle call us the alphabet people.
Yeah, the alphabet
people. And how he broke it down.
Yeah, how he broke it down. Yeah, that shit was that shit was kind of funny. That shit was hilarious. It
was.
So basically, he mentioned some things about that, but he also mentioned, I think what really got him in trouble was the fact that not only did he mention about something gay in the concert, because I don't want to say what he said. It's just, y'all go check that out for yourself. No, y'all just go check it out for yourself.
There was one point where he was like, if you a nigga and you not sucking dick in the parking lot, raise your phones up, something like that.
Yeah.
But then he also said something about if you don't have HIV or AIDS or something.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Then,
so, he kind of just put his foot in his mouth.
Right. He's like,
I get the first one. I'm tripping. I get the one about AIDS while everybody riled up. I get that, but the first one, I ain't seen enough.
Well, if he would have just said that, I think if he would have just said that, he would have been fine.
I think it would have been fine. Nigga would have looked over it. Then he mentioned HIV, AIDS, and it was just like, fuck.
Then he say on rap song, he said, talking about raise your hand, ladies, if your pussy smell like water. That's part of our fucking rap culture. We know realistically pussy not supposed to smell like water all the time, but it's just fucking saying.
But apparently, niggas do suck dick in the parking lot. That's what he's trying to
That's why I said that part. I ain't tripping because it's like the reality is that niggas suck dick in the parking lot.
Exactly.
Is rap songs in our culture, we not politically correct. We be like, hey, I want my woman to pussy smell like water, but we know realistically the pussy don't smell like water.
But niggas do suck dick in the parking lot.
I get that though. I'm not negating that. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think he said anything wrong.
Like we understand that water and pussy, but niggas suck dick in the parking lot.
So you saying the fact that that's the fact that matters, niggas do realistically suck dick in the parking lot. I'm saying is that as far as rap music is concerned, the fact is that we do. Plies got a song called "My Baby, My Girl Pussy Smell Like Water." That's part of our fucking culture. My problem is pop culture that. I don't want to get Drew flagged for saying this. The YT people who are coming in and T-rep the culture of black people, sit your stupid ass down, worry about the pop shit. Let us T-rep this shit.
Well, which I was about to go into what was happening, because this very thing ties into one of the first episodes that we did, either episode 1 or episode 2, and we were talking about that. But as the story goes, the consequence for him saying that was that, first of all, the LGBT community just kind of went off the deep end, and
it don't take much either.
It don't take much. They got triggered.
It don't take much.
And so Lollapalooza decides to take him off the roster for this year's Lollapalooza. There was another festival that decided to take him off the roster, and so now it's affecting his money.
Right.
And so not only did he apologize once, he apologized twice. I think one was the tweet that he did, and then the other one was a video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, some at the end of the video apologized.
Yeah, and so what that drawed me to is I'm like, once again, even though I believe that it's needed, I still have to put this out there. In episode maybe one or 2 that we did of this podcast, I brought up the question, are we overcompensating to LGBT or anything of that? Because it feels like it's kind of like a look at me. Look, I'm on board, like I'm accepting of you and what you're doing. So I'm going to bat for you. It's like it's kind of feel like to the point where we're just kind of like, okay, we still have problems. We still have debates and problems as to, looking at what's funny and what's accepted in, just in that in the LGBT culture.
Right.
And so I don't know. I think it's just another example of what I was seeing with that. And I think we're just kind of overcompensating or overcorrecting what's going on.
Money.
I guess the higher ups.
I say it's called money.
The higher ups are gay.
No, it seems like to me. It seems like all the years that people just like put gay people down or ridicule people for being gay. Now that the rabbit got the gun, they feel as though, okay, you know what? Now we about to show y'all how y'all made us feel.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean,
And
Kevin Hart got it bad too.
Yeah.
He not a rapper. He a comedian.
But
For some shit he did 10 years earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
But my thing with these festivals, it seems like these festivals just trying to hop on the wave of just canceling the baby just so they could get more people that want to come to
But I don't even think it was in a sense, I don't think it was the LGBT community per se as a whole, as more important as it was Elton John. Elton John was the one that just led the way.
Right.
And for the baby to just come back out and be like, man, who the fuck is Elton John?
Ooh.
Like, who are you? Like, that, and that's, he was like, I don't even know you.
Thought I was.
Right.
Rick James, bitch.
Beanie and the Jets, though.
That's what Elton probably was like. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You don't know
And
who I
so
am.
Elton John was the one who I believe got the coalition together.
Right.
And said, well, look, if you don't, look, Lollapalooza and Wakarusa and all these other festivals that got the baby on their roster, if y'all need to do something about this, because I don't look. So, but being that Elton John is pretty much the most outspoken artist.
Right. And he's respected.
Yeah, and respect that's gay.
respected.
It's like you just know that's what's gonna happen.
But I ain't like Questlove thing, though. I ain't like that shit.
I ain't see that. What did
No, you gotta post that. He talking about his
dream concert.
His dream concert. He had the baby, and then he scratched it out, and then he went off on the baby. I'm like, bro, like you gotta read it. I can't.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I read. It just I ain't like it. I just felt like, well, damn, bro, like you just kind of just like went at this man.
The baby responded to it.
Right, he responded to it like, Questlove, who the fuck is you? It's like, okay, we know who, everybody should know who Questlove is.
Right.
Like, if you watch the Dave Chappelle skit, you know who
Yeah.
Questlove is. But I just didn't like that.
I don't know.
Well,
Man.
I mean,
Then Madonna gonna step in.
but then again, I understand. But no, see, that's the thing.
Ain't she like 75?
Right.
This
But
shit-
that's what I'm saying.
That's how you tell
Like,
But that version of my
please.
point earlier was saying that these YT people trying to like add their two cents about our culture. It's like Madonna trying to be politically correct, explain to him like, oh, the woman's vagina not supposed to smell. It's like, nigga, this is our culture. We not
Like,
meant to
that's
be
what we
politically
been
correct.
doing.
We're entertaining as fuck. Like, y'all just like stay your ass over there and let's be over here. Like,
For me, it's the gay thing taking more precedence over the black thing. That's my
Right.
issue. 'Cause it's like we just have so many other problems to worry about.
Yeah.
To be honest, because at the end of the day, I'm black before my sexuality. At the end
Right.
of the day, so you're gonna see my
I'm
skin
happy
color
you
before
saying
the
that.
end. So it's just like I have to understand that. Even with the baby, and when it comes to Black Lives Matter and like how we root for and all that stuff, I just don't get it because I feel like it's so conditional. Like one day it's like Black Lives Matter, and then you got cancel
Black
culture
Lives
fucking
Matter.
up the black man. Like that's stupid. It's
Right.
double conscious. It's double consciousness.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I just don't. And that's the whole thing about the bonnet shit too. I just think all of it divides
Oh, the
us
bonnet
more
shit.
and more, and it's just
It's so
so
co-
easy to do it.
it's
We're
so
so
it's
gu-
confusing.
like we
It's nothing
fucking
but
fall for
confusion.
it every time.
Okay, well,
every
let's
time.
do that crossover then. Wow, I got you. I got you. Let's cross that over. I mean, because I wanted to talk about it because any topic is just kind of open for discussion, and I wanted to talk about Monique because it was. I think the problem with Monique talking about doing this PSA about bonnets and everything else wasn't necessarily about the bonnets. I think it was about Monique telling them about the bonnets.
Yeah, who was
Miss Monique, who says that there's a gender bias and there's a racial bias with Netflix, and we all know how that how that whole thing kind of played out.
Right.
And so it's like
They paid Tiffany Haddish.
yeah, they paid, yeah. Well, you're right. They paid her $600,000. They paid her $600,000 to do a cartoon show.
It's a start.
Which actually got I think it got picked up by Adult Swim. We got Cartoon Network. So it's on Adult Swim.
Oh, she up now.
Yeah. I forgot the damn name of the damn
It
show.
don't matter. Nobody watching it. Anyway, what you were saying?
But it's on the lineup by Rick and Morty, and they watching it. So,
okay.
Yeah. So basically, Monique did a PSA about women wearing bonnets in public. And, her plea was, I understood her plea, because her plea was like, please, we, have to take pride in your presentation. I would like for all of y'all to take pride in your presentation. I don't want y'all in the airport, with pajamas and the bonnet on.
Well, I understood where she came from.
I guess she's holding everybody accountable for like your presentation, how you present yourself in public. As black
Right,
people.
exactly.
And then
Now-
she's old school.
Right.
So, that's the thing. The old school mentality, that's what it is. It's like I would tell myself, I go in the mirror every morning before you go into work, and you're like, can I conduct a meeting? If I look in the mirror and say I cannot go conduct a meeting, the way I look, I need change.
I actually like that.
But that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just my thing, though. But I'm I'm old school, and I get where she was coming from. It's just about presentation.
Well, here's the thing. Everything, I think one of the things that we have a problem with is usage, right?
Right.
Certain articles of clothing have each have their distinctive usage.
Right.
We've blurred the lines a little bit, and I think because the lines have been blurred, so much, especially with the the way we do things now,
Right.
even as opposed to 20 years ago.
Right.
The things that we're doing now, like the lines are totally blurred between at a McDonald's. You can go to McDonald's and you'll see pajamas and a bonnet standing in front of, a 3-piece suit.
Right.
With the, like that type of thing. Now, in the interest of diversity, that might be a good thing or something of that nature.
Right.
I think partly I think just the whole shift is happening in like thinking. Mm-hmm. There's a thinking shift. So we're now like, we can do literally whatever we want.
It's like too many people are feeling like they're liberated now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is cool, but it's a catch to it.
A lot of times my question would be, liberation from what?
Right. And most of the time people just want to be liberated just to say they're liberated.
Just for the sake of being liberated? No, like in order to know what freedom is, you have to be in some type of bondage.
Exactly.
You have to know, at least know that you're in some type of bondage.
Right.
And your freedom is a consequence of you getting out of a certain type of bondage.
Right.
Or, a certain type of resistance, or feeling downtrodden, the whole nine,
Right.
So
So I got a question, though.
Oh.
So Monique made her statement about the bonnets, right? Which I don't care either way. If you feel like you good with it, that's how you want to look. It is what it is.
Right.
But what about the basketball players? How many times we done seen them with now I understand why they wear slippers through the airport and things like that. But isn't that the same?
I mean, they
On
talked
the
about
same
it.
line.
I thought they
But-
talked
You
about it
know,
too.
somewhat. I mean, I understand why they wear it because their feet are swollen. They done played a game or whatever.
Right.
Most of the time, they like.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think it just comes down to use.
Right.
We know that basketball players, their feet swell. We know why they wear the compression socks. We know why they wear slippers instead of wearing
Instead of
tennis
wearing the
shoes.
tennis
Basketball shoes.
Right.
we know why, women, when you see them if you see them on the bus coming from work, and you see them either with some sneakers on, with their stockings, with their stockings or something that that they're coming from work. Mm-hmm. The use behind it, and so that's what makes it acceptable. Acceptable in some circles.
The lines of the way she presented it was as if they're like she's on a platform, so she's representing the whole race,
black
right?
woman,
the black
woman,
and the, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody
so,
elected her.
It's the same premise with basketball players because everybody don't know who certain basketball players are, especially when they not in the game, on the court. So if you walking through the airport with slippers on, you just look like another black man.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I would agree with you.
So
I would definitely agree with you.
On the same, because that's what she's saying too about presentation. I'm just saying.
I would agree with you if we didn't. It's like the old Dave Chappelle kind of joke. Since we're talking about Dave Chappelle and like his outlook and his outlook on his point of view.
He really is.
Yeah, he just so. I remember it's from like Killing Me Softly. Mm-hmm. Killing Him Softly, and he was like, and so they got guys looking at a woman who got the thing with the breast out and the titties out, and then they stop and go, just damn, look at them titties, and she goes, oh, just because I'm dressed this way does not make me a whore. And he's like, oh yeah, you are correct, just because you're dressed like that does not make you a whore, but that is fucking confusing. Why? Because he said that's just like me, Dave Chappelle, the comedian, walking around in a cop's uniform. People walk in and be like, oh, good, you're here. We can help us. Da, 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 da. Oh, just because I'm dressed this way does not make me a police officer.
So same with gender then.
So we as a society have figured out that, okay, there is a certain look and a certain uniformed there's a certain uniform that comes with everything we do. When we see basketball players at the airport or on whatchamacallit, more than likely we know that they're basketball players because they're in the jumpsuit.
They're also 6'10".
Yeah, they're tall, jumpsuits,
and Beats headphones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. That's what they bag.
So we already know that all of them are going to be wearing slips.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is. Kind of like, just like if you see a man walking with a
and I was just posing the question because I
no.
But let's not negate that not only basketball players are walking around every day with slides on. We can't negate that.
But you gotta understand, ball is life.
Yeah. This nigga. I'm weak.
Until it's time for them to be at somebody's party. Or to be at somebody's function, or to be at some, like when, I know I'm going as far as up at the NBA, but like when they pull up to the arena, they make sure they are in some type of formal-esque dress, and they're like, no, because this is, this is what we want to represent. This is how we want to represent ourselves. So that's why they always have suits.
It's also in their contract.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
so
exactly.
Mandated.
So it's mandated. They get paid to do that.
But when you see them come off the bus, you still know they're basketball players and they're football players or they're athletes, some type of athlete. Mm-hmm. Why? Because that's in their contract. Mm-hmm. And that when they pull up, it's like, oh, I know exactly who they are.
The athletes, you can tell the uniform.
You can tell the uniform.
Big ass Lakers on the side of the bus,
right?
So, very obvious.
So you're going back into Monique and talking about this. I think what triggered her was just the fact that is this the uniform or is this the dress code? For getting on the plane.
I mean, but it is
comfortable.
No. But think about it.
You can't fuck up here on the plane.
Girls today too. Just like we talk about the makeup. Mm-hmm. They wear little of nothing.
You're right.
Literally, they leave no type of nothing to the imagination. Nothing. It's just out here. Ass.
I had to work for these damn pictures. Now I can go on Instagram and see on Twitter. But you know what? That reminds me of this one. Like how you said that Is it the uniforms? Like while I was in my job, I'm noticing every young man who get caught arrested on Berry Street got the same type of gun, a Glock with extendo and a gar rolled up a weed. It's
And let
like,
me guess.
dog,
And let me guess what they were arrested in. They were arrested in some type of T-shirt,
yeah,
black or white,
V-neck.
V-neck,
I'm weak, not the V cut, not the V cut.
blue or black jeans.
Yeah, out here.
And some black G-Nikes.
That's hanging off.
Yeah,
That's hanging off.
Yeah,
I'm looking
either,
at- I'm
either
looking-
hanging off or like really, really tight.
But that's the uniform, huh?
That's the uniform.
Yeah, that's the uniform.
It might have that
So-
two. It might have two
I'm
with
sorry.
the dicky fit on. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
It might have two with the dicky fit, but it always the same old gun. A Glock
Mm-hmm.
19 or a Glock 17 with a tape on the handle, 3 hollow points, and 10 fully what that is, full metal jackets.
Yeah,
And a gun this big rolled up.
yeah.
I'll be like, nah.
The same.
But but by you knowing that,
Right,
I don't wear black and white tees
right.
with the slim
jeans.
slim jeans. Yeah, with the slim jeans.
And G-Nikes.
Oh no, not the slims. The skinnies.
Yeah.
With the skinnies with G-Nikes. I haven't bought a pair of G-Nikes once I came to that conclusion, and that was 10, 15 years ago. I was like, okay, if I don't want to even be lumped in,
Right.
I don't even want to deal with that shit. So it's like, you know what? I have to change how I look because I used to wear G-Nikes
Right.
with the white tee.
Me too.
With the long white tee. I was in the long white tee.
We look like a
age,
franchise
But with
The dress, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, not the. Nah.
You know, and I just think that, and I understand what she's saying. She wasn't the person to say it.
Yeah.
She was not the person.
'cause they went
She was not the
in.
person qualified to say it because
She's still dealing with that shit.
she's still dealing with the other shit from just being, you know, what they were kind of telling her was victim mentality, that type of thing.
Right.
I think it should not matter. Because there is so many other matters for
yeah.
the black community that small shit like this divides us. I watched two black women argue on Facebook related to each other about this situation on different opposing sides. And they
Yeah.
were serious
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
about the shit. And I'm like, there are women dying in the
Dying in the
hospital.
hospital.
There are women getting their fucking uteruses cut out. There's just so much going on with black women in fucking general that is just like, this should not matter. It shouldn't even be a topic of the discussion
Well,
to get mad about it all.
I can tell you why. The main reason why is because they all agree on those other subjects. This is the one subject that they do not agree on.
It's so insignificant to the
And it
fucking
really is.
livelihood
That's why
of black
so
women.
many people who have like what it was, Toya and what's the other girl name that's on Love and Hip
Tiny?
Hop?
Oh, the shit. I don't
no.
know. I had to stop watching that shit. I was ready to fight for no reason.
Rashida. They were both on. They came with they diamond studded bonnets and was dressed up and coming out of Lennox with bags. I said, I
Yeah.
said, okay, T.
Diamonds
Yeah.
studded.
So in other words, it's not what you do, it's how you do
Because they did it on purpose. It was a
It
clapback,
was a point.
Yes.
to say,
Wow.
no, we could do it. We can wear it.
it. But I guess it's more. It's like I guess Monique talking about the taggy bonnets compared to
Yeah, looking
upscale
like you
bonnets
just
with the
walked up,
diamonds.
worked
and
Well, no,
I mean,
Monique was just talking about bonnets in general.
She said,
So
don't come
she
your
was
ass out
like-
the house with
she
no
was like,
fucking
yeah,
bonnet.
Your
bonnets
slippers
are
and
just
your-
for the house
Because you don't
And-
have home training.
pajamas.
And for the majority
Like you
of
just woke up.
from the inception, the invention of the bonnet up until about 2000, 2010 maybe. That was its use. There was women had a different mind frame as to say, I would never get caught outside with my bonnet.
But I'm gonna wear my rollers
or my
with
jammies.
scarf.
Or my jammies. Yeah.
Look what I said. I'm gonna wear my rollers with my scarf.
Man.
on my jammies. It is what it is.
No, because I mean, think about it. We had when we were growing up, my mothers and grandmothers, you would catch them in the grocery store.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
would have a nice, beautiful, soft
Right.
silk scarf on.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
with their rollers.
With the realest.
And dared you to say something. What? And put makeup on like it go together. It go together.
I just think it's getting to the point within our community, the black community, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, obviously. But I think it's getting to the point where white people don't even have to say anything to us anymore. Like it's getting too outrageous for me, and it's like we can't say that we're black this, we're gonna support black that, and then the moment we disagree with each other, we fucking fall apart. And we're doing it with each other. Like
we're fragile.
But everybody's fragile. That goes back to the baby situation.
Right.
At what point are we gonna stop fucking walking on eggshells because somebody is upset? It's just like, okay,
you know what
so
we gotta blame the people up top who got put in positions who's sensitive and created that.
fuck them niggas too. I don't care. It's just like it's so redundant as growth as human beings if we cannot face our triggers.
Let's be real.
Period.
Let's be real. Pimp C, Bernie Mac, and Living Color. If y'all sensitive today, y'all would never like them three.
Oh,
They don't, and that's why I don't like Dave no more. They can't fucking stand Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
They can't. Man, it's ridiculous.
It's raw.
And that nigga funny. He's too funny for you not to like.
Man, Pimp C, if Pimp C was alive for this shit, y'all would not be on social media. Y'all be in y'all damn feelings. Pimp would be chewing y'all ass out, even Uncle Bernie.
Well, I think one of the main kind of ideas, main reasons why that's happening, at least in my point of view, is that we are pretty much the only demographic of people who cannot say, you know, I'm going to still fuck with you in the midst of us not agreeing on some shit. You know, because, I mean, let's be honest, our counterparts, you know, the upper counterparts,
right?
They hate each other's guts. A lot of times they hate each other's guts. But they have an understanding, in order for us to prosper, we have to support each other,
right?
Yeah.
In whatever endeavor.
And they
Because they'll go toe to toe in the boardroom.
Yeah.
Toe to toe in the boardroom. See, 11:30. Okay, so where we going for lunch?
I heard that the Republicans and the Democrats will be in the house, like outside for lunch. They be kicking in and just talking.
Yeah. Like nothing happened.
Fortune 500 pays for both sides.
Exactly.
They pay for both sides. We're fighting a war that's fucking together. Like it's come on,
How you
man.
say the left wing and the right wing still one bird.
Man, come on, it's crazy.
But they don't hear me though.
It's
And a lot of them don't.
You got people afraid to drop the F-bomb more than they're afraid to say nigga.
Yeah.
Right. It's like I can say nigga, but I can't say
Yeah.
and don't drum. I mean, I want your flag.
Right, exactly. And the fact that you have to be like, make sure you delete that out the footage that's ridiculous.
Right.
Well,
I can say nigga.
Yeah, exactly.
Get checked.
But here's the thing. But here is where it comes down to. It comes down to one thing that I have always kind of just admired, to be honest with you, especially when it comes to gay men in particular, is that no matter what type of catty shit they've always got into with each other, they have always found a way to support each other in the end.
But that's
and
niggas.
that's why they are so powerful.
Right.
Yep.
That's why they're so powerful. And so I can't, at first I used to be like, man, that's some bullshit, you know, but I after a while I was like,
get it.
I can't get mad at them.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they understand it.
They
And
understand
I know that, I mean, the stereotypical light of them is that they just work so very hard and, you know, they spend their money extravagantly and that type of thing. But there is a truth to the stereotype. And it's just mainly because they support each other. They still support each other. That's why we can't say gay slurs.
Right.
Well, that's why some things are even considered gay slurs. Me even talking about it, you know, if I say tranny, it still
that's
has the
offensive.
same connotation.
That is offensive. I'm like, what?
That's offensive. Yeah.
When the fuck did this happen?
And I remember I was watching this. I was watching he's become one of my favorite comedians, Andrew Schultz, and he had a joke about it. He's like, man, you know, what's wrong with the word tranny? You know, he said, you know, your grandmother what do you call her? Granny. You know, so he went kind of going down the thing, and he's just like, transgender? Tranny. You know?
But
it's
I
like,
feel
what's
like
the problem with
society
that?
is so sensitive now. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Because think about what our grandparents. What was the first word?
Morphodise.
Yeah,
What the hell is a
What the fuck is that?
morphodise?
somebody with the same a vagina and a penis at the same time. Like,
Oh,
I
Well,
thought that was
it's
a-
really-
I
it's
thought it was
really-
a hermaphrodite.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's where it
mean.
comes from.
Right.
That's where it
But
comes
they would
from.
call it a morphodise.
It's called the Morphodise because they were just trying to explain to
crazy.
men who were drag queens and that type of thing.
They
So
didn't know how
that's
to-
you just call them
'cause They didn't
Morphodise.
have all of the the categories that they
They
have
got a
now.
fuck ton of
so-
categories.
Yeah, they do. They do.
I'm confused. God damn it.
But that's what like I said earlier. Is like the people who worked their way to the top, who was always sensitive, and now they get to set the rules, are fucking sensitive.
Well,
Like,
no, I think there's a and I hate to reference Boosie. Boosie.
Man,
Yeah,
Boosie a
Boosie
funny
bad.
nigga, boy.
He had a point. He had a point. He was like, man, he just believed that there is a profit motive for being gay now.
Oh, it is.
There's
That's
a
why I
profit.
said I don't think
So
Lil Nas actually
therefore, you don't mess with the church's money.
yeah.
It's a big church.
You know, he went off into the other stuff that I was like, bro, you can't.
It's
you can't
bullshit. What
just-
you
you
expect?
can't-
He's going to do that.
You know, yeah,
boy.
he's going off on that. But I said, you have a point there because that's the truth that draws you in. There's a profit motive for it, and at the end of the day, like I said, I think it wasn't even the LGBT community that got on the baby. It was Elton John.
Right.
Elton John
what he
said
represents.
that's disrespectful, that type of thing. And so, and then on top of that, the baby put his foot in his mouth talking about who was Elton John. So, it's like, who are you? I think it's just, once we understand that how much money goes into this profit motive of not necessarily, not just being gay, because I have a theory that, to be honest with you, I don't believe Lil Nas X is gay.
I've been saying that. I don't think Lil Nas is
He
gay.
was so like he was bi
Yeah.
when he first started, from my understanding.
Yeah.
And now
That was his
So
claim,
I
I don't want to take
don't know.
anything away from him, but for me, it's like, okay, but for me, it's like, are you living in your truth, or was this just a grand opportunity for you to gain a new level of fanship? That type of thing, new level of audience, because when he did that video a couple of months ago,
He seduced the devil.
yeah, it was talking about the devil, and he kills the devil,
Oh
and he
boy,
becomes
he
the
pissed
devil.
off a lot of Christians.
Yes, Lord. Yes, he did.
The Christians
The
were not
purpose,
happy.
How it
and that's I
is,
think
it
was
is
the
what it is.
sole purpose. I think that was the sole purpose of him
To push
doing
it.
that, because he wanted to just like literally create that,
But it
that
was,
shit.
I mean, it's just like when we were just talking about politics not too long ago. Politicians, the one that's on the forefront is not the one who's actually making the decisions.
Right.
So he's just the
puppet.
face.
Right.
He's just,
Somebody-
it's
somebody
that
puppet.
team behind
That
him
boy
that
views
saw
went up
money.
real quick.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity and,
bread,
we
B.
gon'
His views went up
this bread,
real
B.
quick.
Stevie J with it.
Man,
and I really feel like that's what happened. He's just
I don't know.
I'm
the
telling
face.
you, it's the people who were saying to themselves, you know what, why I get in position, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna change that. It's like, for example, when Drake was battling Pusha T, and he started talking about, nah, man, this is how battle rap's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be disrespectful. It's not supposed to be this. You can't say, it's like, nigga, on URL, these niggas be putting out paperwork on niggas' daddies being rats.
yeah.
So who are you to come up here and say that, using your influence since you're the hot rapper to come down here and tell everybody how it's supposed to go? No, you're not supposed to do that. It's like, you're not about to see Mayweather, I'm going to say Mayweather, a person who's high up in boxing, go to the trenches and tell them, what y'all doing is wrong. Nah, what we doing is wrong is creating hunger with us, is getting us to the point where you're at, and then we going to pass you up.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And that's my thing with, I feel like a lot of people up top who are the new people in power are sensitive.
Yeah.
And they you can tell they've been ridiculed and bullied, and they feel like once I get this power, I'm going to make a change. Not to change it to everybody benefit, but I'm going to
better.
change it for me so you can feel my pain. Man.
I feel that.
Do you need some special aerial photography or video footage? Or maybe you need some stock footage of the city for your presentation? Or maybe a beautiful shot of a landmark just to hang on your wall? Well, time for you to check out NOLA Shots. They are a drone photography and videography company established in New Orleans who specialize in capturing aerial 4K video and photo. Check out the website at www.dmnolashotsllc.com or follow us on social media at NOLA Shots on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, now let's move into another subject that I think that has been up for a big debate because you have, I put them into 3 different categories, and we just kind of trying to figure out why. We know why, but it's just kind of like, is that really the reasoning behind it? If you don't know what I'm talking about at this point now, is taking the vaccine. So there's 3 types of people in this scenario. The vaccinated, the people who just say, I'm going to get it, da-da-da. They're the anti-vaxxers who say, I'm never going to get it under any circumstance whatsoever. Fuck that vaccine. And then there's the vaccine hesitant. You know, the ones who've done enough research to say, I don't know if I'm comfortable enough putting this in my body yet, or something of that nature. Now, a lot of people, I'm gonna say it like this. People like me, I already know what's gonna be ahead. And so I was like, okay, it's a vaccine. I know what a vaccine is.
Right.
In its essence. And I think that is where the kind of the separation starts to happen, because I'm like, if everybody kind of actually knew what a vaccine really is, there wouldn't be any anti-vaxxers. There would just be healthy people.
Right.
You know, but that being said, it's I think it's just a separation of what we believe a vaccine may be, or what a vaccine may not be.
Right.
So I just put them in that category, and it just so happens that we have a person here who can kind of speak on vaccine hesitancy. You know, mainly because I'm always curious about it, because once I have enough information, I can make the most sound decision that I possibly can.
Right.
And I know that with the same information, you have a different outcome. So, you know, if you so will, Nicole, just give me a basic.
Nicole, like what?
Give me a basic reason. Let's start with the basic reasoning why you are vaccine hesitant.
First of all, I was anti-vax before.
Yeah.
And now I'm entering into the hesitancy area. Like, for reasons, one, I'm not one of them people who like, oh my God, they putting fucking microchips. I'm not one of them motherfuckers. Don't do that. It's just that I do not know what to believe. Because like, I don't know who's telling me the truth. I don't know who's lying. The government said one shit before the fucking when this COVID shit happened prior. Now they saying some other shit. Now you got some niggas bullying other motherfuckers into getting the vaccine, talking about if you ain't getting the vaccine, you ain't shit. All this other stuff, turning it into one of them other, just one of them.
Shout out to my mom.
I don't know who to trust, and it's getting harder. But the main reason why I'm becoming hesitant, and I'm thinking about getting it, is because I've escaped it for so long. Like, I am shocked that I haven't come in contact or had it, or I don't even know if I've had it. I've never been tested, none of that shit. So I don't even know. I just know.
You never been tested?
Never.
For COVID? Man, nigga,
Never.
you might be trying to kill the pimp.
Where's the lights on?
First of all,
Where my lights on?
First of all,
Put the
Darby, my
mask
dog,
on,
you
Jesus,
came up
fix
in this
it.
bitch with that shit. You came up in this bitch with it and denied the fact that you had it. You were like,
I
I
thought I
ain't
had
got
sinus
that
infection. Fuck yeah.
shit. My nigga came in here with it.
I had to get
All
some
right,
phone calls like,
had a
"Look, baby, I got
whole
COVID. Go get
podcast, sat down through that shit.
I didn't
and
tell
had
her
it.
to chill, little baby. I
But-
may have COVID. Go get tested.
Listen,
got some allergies.
but seriously, I don't know who to trust. That's like bottom line. I don't know if the government lying to me. I don't know if I have information that's false or true. I don't know if the information on the CDC shit is true.
I think we just winging this shit,
It
dog.
just right. Like I don't know, and it's just like and I don't fucking like needles. I hate needles. Like it's like shots
I'll
are
tell
not
you
my
this,
shit.
This needle, the needles are much better now.
Fuck that.
You know, from when I was growing up, like literally growing up as a teenager, them needles were fucking huge, thick, and
them bitches were long. And
you know,
you could see the
every
actual
needle
hole
looked like a
in the
steroid needle, just boom. You felt that. You felt that puncture.
Yeah.
You felt that puncture in your
And
skin.
you could see the actual hole.
Right.
That's how big that bitch was.
You know, so no, but I get it, and that's why in the beginning of the pandemic, you know, I first of all I did as much reading as I can, and so and the point of view that I came up with at the end of the day was this: the degree of potency is different, but it's still a virus nonetheless. It still has its clutches, you know, by the same process. The COVID-19, you know, the COVID-19 virus, the virus itself, cannot stay in warm climate.
It ain't even COVID no more. It's Delta,
The Delta variant.
and now Delta Plus apparently.
Well, no, that's
bitch got
Lambda.
that bitch got like,
Either way,
it's like the Apple operating system.
COVID out here pledging into sororities,
Well, you
and
know,
it's got to stop.
For the most part, we mostly all of the viruses that we catch, whether it's flu or you know, something else of that nature, is really taken in the nose. That's why they had them big swabs where they were going way up people's noses.
Right.
To your eye socket.
Right.
Because the reality was, it was in, you know, like the viruses like actually start to cling on to the mucus that's in your nasal cavity in your brain. That's why so I was like, okay, well that makes sense. And the first person that I got that from was Dr. Sebi. You know, as wacky and as, you know, crazy as a lot of people made him out to be.
That man is not crazy. He's a
I
genius.
think he had a point. He says all diseases
Stem from mucus.
stem from mucus.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm like, okay, so with me knowing that, now I know that I can still catch the virus, I can do all that, but one thing I know that is that for most people, sunlight and exercise were the two biggest things that you can do, were the two most natural things that you can do. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm a bike enthusiast, you know, by this point, because like I was riding 15, 20 miles a day at that time.
I was working out. I work out I haven't worked out in a minute, but I work out every day typically.
But you also gotta make sure you not eating that processed shit and taking your vitamins, your supplements too.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. You're fine. But the thing about it was, so it's like, this is a perfect opportunity for me because I'm already doing this. So I don't need any extra motivation to do this. So I made sure I sweated, you know, sweating like a hoe in church. Church. You know.
He said a hoe in church.
Yeah, sweat like a hoe in church.
Not the minister,
No,
not the
no,
pastor, the hoe.
The hoe, yeah.
Most time the hosts be the members.
Cuts up.
So that was the first thing that I did. That was the first, you know, step that I took
Vitamin D.
to fight it. You know, make sure I get that vitamin D.
And sunlight.
Sat in the sunlight. So all it really does is raise your body temperature. When your body temperature raises, that nasal cavity, which is the coldest place in your body, drips. You know, and so the mucus breaks up,
And
so the
seafood.
virus has nowhere to.
Crawfish been having nigga dripping. Ain't that right, man?
Yeah. Fauci was talking about. There are simple things to do, but when you tell people to do simple things, they still overboard the simple shit.
Right.
Take
This
it.
is the United States.
Drink
Make
your
everything
juice.
complicated.
Drink your juice. Drink printed fluids. Make sure you.
Getting your vitamin
But
D.
they
Keep the mucus
leaked.
in. Yeah.
His emails got leaked.
Why not? Yeah.
You know,
I mean, but
he wasn't really drunk. He just had a few brews. He gonna be-
but at the same time, it's like we know. Well, like I said, in my preliminary research, I knew it was a combination of the MERS and the SARS and so it's like I knew it was a combination. That COVID is a combination of all the shit. This is a creation in the lab. Mm-hmm. There was no denying that.
Right. Like, what the fuck are the odds that all the shit that... Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, for me, I think it was, just like a lot of the stuff that's happening with us, created in the lab to help us fight something else that gets leaked in its purest form and it gets spread.
And they can't fucking control it.
You can't control that.
This shit about Resident Evil, dog. This is Resident Evil.
Trump fired that team.
Yeah.
In here,
It was let out.
It was just
mixing shit together.
yeah.
Yep.
And Trump
And they
fucking
get
But
out.
that's what they get paid to do.
He fired the,
Like
research team. Once he fired that research team, I felt like they was like, oh yeah,
All right.
okay.
Drop that shit on them one time.
When we got some bats here.
Go on, let them keep the party rolling.
Yeah, we got some bats over here. Send them bats to the wet market.
Trump probably like, fuck.
That's what lost him the election. I believe that's what lost him the election.
Fuck.
No, I don't. Here's what lost him the election. I think what lost him the election is just the fact that he had the main fact that he was trying to sell the cure with hydroxychloroquine, something like that. I forgot the name of it. Hydrochloroquine or something like that.
That boy killed his followers.
Yeah, that he said queen, so we're gonna call it queen.
Look at him over here.
Yeah,
He also called it the China virus.
yeah, the China virus. Whoa,
China.
but here's the thing.
From China.
China. But here's the thing about that though. I tell you this. He calls it the China virus because what happened with it? When the Spanish flu, they said it came from a virus that was originated in Spain.
Right.
The Zika virus came from the Zika forest. The MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. Same thing. So, like, every virus that has a name for it is the origin of it. That's what it came. So, I don't necessarily blame him for that, but I get it. You just was trying to just crack jokes on China, or you was just trying to put the blame on China, to put the sole blame on China when you didn't do shit about it, And so it's like, at least with President Obama, he was like, all right, look, SARS, they got SARS and MERS and Zika and West Nile and Ebola. All of them all of those names actually originated in those places. That's where they get their name from. Zika, Ebola, in Africa, what did I just say? West Nile, all that, same thing. Yeah, MERS, like MERS. I forgot what the SARS acronym is. I try to read, but I don't, I went to New Orleans public schools, okay? There's only so much that I could read.
You have a PhD, okay?
Yeah, right.
A public high school diploma, all right? That's a PhD. Don't sleep.
Yes, I got to use that one. That's a new one.
That's fine.
Yeah, public eyes.
But no, the reason why I thought he lost the election was just mainly because he tried to sell the cure. And so it's like, everybody's like, motherfucker, this is a pandemic. This is not just some regular ass virus like sugar diabetes. You know what I'm saying?
Work out and get rid of it.
Right. The guy, what's his name? The one who had the EpiPen. And he raised the EpiPen up to like $600, $700. But we already know that like there are more natural cures for diabetes.
It's the Sabi diet.
Yeah. There are more natural cures for diabetes, but most of these people just need the fucking insulin. Because if not, they're going to conk out on you. They're going to check out on you if you're not careful.
Right.
So.
Keep some peppermint.
But right. Yeah, give him a little peppermint right quick. Hit him.
My mama got the peppermints in her purse.
Peppermints in
the purse.
Woo. Yes. All church ladies. Church ladies. The church ladies kept some peppermints.
My grandma is a church. She the first lady, so
Yeah, exactly.
she got all that shit.
Yes.
Peppermints.
So
strawberry candy.
So man,
The best.
the only reason why I remember the dude is because he bought the only copy of this Wu-Tang album that never came out, and he bought it for $1 million.
You talking about old boy, man?
I forgot his name, but he wound up going to jail for
something.
Yeah, he wound up going to jail for as a result of price gouging the EpiPen, right? But I can still see that being in the market because not everybody has diabetes, or everybody's not even prone to getting diabetes. You know, it's our own eating habits, it's our own, you know, it's like our own doing, so to speak. This, on the other hand, is a pandemic.
Right.
Like, you could just be walking by somebody and you can catch it.
And die.
Yeah, exactly.
And die.
If your immune system is not right, you will die.
Die.
But know what, Drew? Let me pick it back off what you were saying with the vaccine things. I have an aunt, and I'll tell you about how my aunt's been in the hospital for because she got COVID, and she's on a breathing machine, not a ventilator, but a breathing machine. And me and my cousin was talking about. She was talking about, well, Auntie always stayed in the house, and she was just always wanted to stay home. I said that's what she messed up at. She should have been outside getting some sunlight. She should have been sweating. That's why I tell people all the time, like at least like 3 or 4 times a week, I always go outside, walk in the league or walk in the park. And then I know some people who are vaccinated because they got vaccinated, did research. I know some people who are saying, I'm not going to get vaccinated, and they ain't do no research. This is based on what they see off of social media.
Of course.
And I know some people who are not getting vaccinated who did research. They say, well, no, I mean, I be getting vaccinated, but I'm in the gym. I'm not eating that processed food. I cut back on eating this. This is my vitamins I'm taking. This is my herbs I'm taking. This is what sea moss. I'm doing cardio. I'm keeping myself sweating.
But then they can still be the carriers, though. That's the problem, too. They can have it and give it to
the whole time they have it, but they straighten their bodies up and fighting it, but they haven't, like...
Yeah, but somebody who hadn't been active, you know what I'm saying?
But the best thing I can say is this. I know for a fact that let's be real, you watch stuff on social media, these people ain't wearing no damn mask when they go out. Like Kelly Price came in the 7140, the days later she talking about she got COVID. Y'all better get checked. But
I just kind of smooth through that.
But no, seriously.
Better go get checked.
Yeah, seriously, though, like
Check that shit out.
But Maya, you have a good point. I never thought about that. People could be carrying it, but they still asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. And so I think that at the end of the day, I always encourage people to do the research, you know, and that type of thing, because I want you to be just as informed as I am.
Right.
Like I said, I got the virus. I got the vaccine. I mean, well, let's talk about what is actually in the vaccine. You know, now if you got the Moderna
the
one,
virus isn't in the vaccine.
Yes, the virus is in the vaccine.
Girl,
So see, they spreading. See, that's what I'm talking about. Because there's an article saying that it's not in there. It has.
Well, the Moderna one, it's not in there. It's not in the Moderna vaccine.
I had Pfizer. Nigga, every time I took Pfizer, I got tired, fatigue, and then you actually, I had the chills.
Yeah.
With that time, man, you was up here, we worked on that record, and I kept on saying I feel cold. I had the chills. I had to go home and had the chills, and within probably 4 to 5 hours, I was sweating, and I was back to normal.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
kind of bullshit is that? What is going
I had
on?
chills.
She had chills too.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
I had the chills.
Me,
Her
I was
too?
totally fine. I was totally fine.
My
I
mom
was
was fine.
just,
My godmother was
Listen.
fine. My mama friend was
you
fine.
know, but
And they
like I
had
said,
COVID.
once again, it comes down to where is your immune system when you get the shot. So,
The level.
you know, because what the vaccine is, like the flu shots that we've been taking year after year, you know, reason why we have to take one every year is because the mutation, you know, the influenza mutates. So it's a new virus.
I've literally only had the flu once, and it was right before COVID took off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was the
I've
same
never
way.
had the flu. I don't do flu shots. I don't
Yeah.
do that shit.
I never took a flu
the flu
shot
shots. The flu shots are mainly for, like I said, the immune compromise, and that's I think that's the thing that a lot of people miss. You know, mainly because we can do things. We can exercise. We can, we'll drink the fluids. We'll drink water for the most part. We'll drink just, like orange juice, or just have like real fruit, actual fruit, like those type of things, and eat our vegetables and all that type of stuff. So we'll do the necessary things to keep our body healthy, keep the mucus out, keep our mucus drained, that type of thing. There's some people who just haven't even done, for the most part, most of us haven't done that type of research, you know. And to be honest with you, we're in the 5%. Like because we just know, like, this is what you need to do, you know. But
and understand
grandmothers,
what's in the vaccine,
grandmothers, grandfathers, right, and just people who are immunocompromised, they don't know that shit. They just don't know that shit, and they'll sit there and, you know, I'm gonna get my flu shot, but like you were sniffling, you know, yesterday, you can't go get that flu shot because your immune system is fucked up right now. You know, we need you to get you on some vitamin C.
And
we need to take you outside in the sun for some vitamin D.
If they sense the nurse or the doctor who administer they won't give it to you if they see that you're sick. They can't. And if you think about it with babies too, they won't give a baby its vaccinations if they're sick. If they got a cold or anything, they cannot give you their vaccinations.
Because you're immune compromised.
Your immune system. So that means the vaccination is going to triple.
That's why you had a lot and that's why you had a lot of people who were going to the hospital on the ventilators, you know, and on the respirators because they were dying. Not because the virus had taken over them or whatever. Their immune, you know, like the hospital is a sterile environment. The immune system has nothing to fight against. You know, so like they're in there for days on end. And the only thing they're really getting is an extra boost of oxygen. So, and that's the only thing that you have in the hospital to fight the shit.
Right.
You know, so it's like, and like I said, once I did all the reading and once I did all that shit, I was like, all right, this makes sense. All right, even if I do get it, I know that I can fight this shit. All I have to do is got to get into my quarantine and make sure that I keep up on my vitamin C, my vitamin D, you know, all the other vitamins, the B12 and all that other stuff that.
But the deaths are going up, as I was just saying. It's because of the carriers.
95% of people who are now getting infected are unvaccinated.
Right.
And
which means they're getting it from the carriers are the ones who already
and
have been vaccinated or the ones who are like working out and things like that, who's just not vaccinated. They can and
they got people who vaccinated catching it, but they're not working on their bodies. They still got underlying health issues. Like my doctor told me, you got people who have diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease.
And some of them that just don't go to the doctor on a regular to get checkups either. You have some people that got sick and some died as a result of it, and the others they just don't get checkups like you should. You know, you're supposed to get checkups.
The yearly checkups help.
Yeah,
they do.
And so, and like I said, and a lot of people don't realize that. Like I got the Pfizer vaccine, and so I already knew that the Pfizer vaccine already had the virus in it. The reason why they put the virus in it, but they kind of envelope it with antibodies and other things.
Just like
but
the
it's
other
just
one.
It's literally just there for the playbook, so your immune system can recognize what it is that's a virus, and then so if the virus that comes back, they're ready to.
Enough antibodies
all right, bitch.
Fight it off.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. But that's why we get the flu shot every year, because with every mutated flu virus, your immune system has to relearn that that's the enemy.
Right.
Like we got to fight it off.
Yeah, you got to fight it off. And the only way that you fight it off, the only way your immune system actually fights it off is that they recognize it.
Right.
So like that's the problem. That's the main problem with the COVID one, especially the Delta variant, because it comes in, you can get it quicker. Like the symptoms are like rapid. Like, when everybody was getting the regular COVID-19, it was just, you got a couple of days, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Now it's just attacking.
Days.
It's attacking.
Days, 48 hours, 72 hours. So that's why they're like, no, we need to really be careful with this one now, because if the Lambda variant gets, starts to spread like that.
2.0.
Yeah, that's 3.0. The Lambda is 3.0.
Okay. All right.
Every time they mutate, they get stronger.
So
Right.
we have COVID.
COVID-19.
We have Delta. We have Delta Plus. And now we have
Lambda, and I forget there's another one they named for a Greek letter.
So just so y'all know, COVID is literally pledging in fucking so I'm telling you, they out here, this bitch stepping. Okay? This is crazy.
We went through all of this year.
Man. What the hell?
That's hilarious.
This is ridiculous. And we just
Yeah, no, we good. Let's end on that note. Like right there. Yeah, we're gonna do. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I forgot all about it. We're gonna do this little raffle.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, so basically, we've done the raffle.
I didn't know y'all was doing a raffle.
Yeah,
damn, that was announced. Why you?
Basically, we did this
I know
raffle.
that, but I ain't know. I ain't
So-
signed.
So but the prize is just an assortment of about 25, 26 bottles of liquor. Liquor, mini liquor.
Nothing wrong with that.
Somebody
And many
gonna
by
get
setups,
fucked
25
up.
setups.
Oh, nothing wrong with 25 setups.
I'm up in here shaking.
And
Blame it on
but
them.
this was going to, young black male, kind of alleviating his college tuition,
Nothing's wrong
college
with that.
tuition costs.
Keep it triage.
And so just know that all y'all who
shaking.
was in it, great cause and everything else. And so with that in mind, see she dropping stuff
Yeah,
now.
like I'm-
Oh, you did
I'm
that on
trying
camera.
to shuffle
You did that on camera.
Yeah, look, I'm shuffling. Who's
Every
gonna
day
do the
you're
pull?
shuffling.
Somebody. I'm shuffling, so somebody else pull it. Somebody pull it. Pull one, either one.
Drum roll, please.
Go way
Black,
to the
black,
bottom,
black.
in the middle somewhere.
Black. Black.
Who you got?
All right. Carissa Figaro.
Oh.
Yes. So
I'm gonna call her.
yes, and make sure you're gonna get that call.
Yes, she
And
gonna
it's
be
lovely
going.
assortment.
It's rigged.
Half
No.
a little
Yeah, right. This shit is rigged.
man.
We're not doing this.
Right.
I don't know what to tell
I
y'all.
might just do another announcement and get another basket since I had so many.
What's
we had good
what's the
supporters.
what the drinks they have in the bag?
I have all of the Crown Royals. I have not Hennessy, Jack Daniels. Oh Lord, Amigos,
Ciroc boys in the building.
Belvedere. I got
Belvedere.
Fireball.
Fireball.
Yeah, it's
y'all
like
gonna be shitting. Hey, y'all be out here.
No, it's
gonna
just
be
if you got a porch, yeah, if you got a little porch, that you go to 2 times, 3 times a week at night, it's
porch.
perfect. Yeah, so nice little basket, all good,
Hey, put my glasses on for that. Yeah.
yeah,
like a whole bunch of.
all stuff. We're gonna do another drawing,
Yes.
so don't
Yeah,
y'all
I'ma
worry
do
about
another
it.
one.
That's the ones
Yeah,
that
we're
you
gonna do
sneak in the
another
movie
drawing. We're
theater.
gonna get y'all good.
Yes.
Sticky your child's
So
diaper
congratulations.
bag.
Yes, Miss Carissa. I
Yeah,
will call.
congratulations. I got you.
Man.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So, with that in mind and all that stuff, now that we got that out the way, I want to thank y'all for coming back because I know sometimes it can be quite difficult to kind of get back on the horse and, kind of talk. It can get really, and especially for me, it can get real hard to just kind of put the production together to do this type of thing. So, I want to thank Nicole, Maya, my throwing on my side, and Rose Big Jenkins.
Lamborghini Swerving, Pimp Swerve,
Yes,
my
sir.
Illuminated Beard Volume 1. I don't know. I just think my beard is illuminated right now on camera. You
Yes,
gotta see this shit. But other than that,
The Beast by the kilogram.
we got Grammys. All you do is grams.
So, this is the Fessa Drew Bayham. This is Drew's putting it out there. So now, until next time, peace.
Get a little clap.
This podcast is brought to you by Living Swell Studios. When you want to record your next hit, broadcast your next live stream, or just need a quiet space to edit your videos, Living Swell Studios can accommodate all your needs. Located in New Orleans, they're equipped with a rehearsal hall, print shop, photography space, and more. Living Swell is your one-stop shop to facilitating your vision. Let them fulfill your music and video dreams.